Hi, it's Ike from Groovy Entertainment. Today we got another book to read for you. Today's book is Baby Kermit, Old Blanket from 1988. So let's get started. It was a fine morning in the nursery. Just the kind of morning when many nannies like to say, "Let's go to the park for a picnic, kids. But first, we'll have to do some cleaning in here. Get together all the old things you don't need anymore. We can drop them off at the resale shop on the way to the park." Just like many nannies, the Muppet Babies, Nanny said exactly that. "Hey, this is fun," Fozzie decided. "I hadn't looked at these old toys in years and years. Or maybe it's months. Here are my old rattles. Here are some tiny socks I used to wear," said Piggy. "They look small enough for a doll." As the baby continued to clean, they came up on well-worn bibs, and outgrown shirts, and little gloves that had lost their mates. They found teething rings and tiny spoons and long forgotten baby toys. Kermit pulled a small faded blanket out from under his bed. "Remember this?" he asked Fozzie. Fozzie nodded. "Sure I do. You wouldn't go anywhere without that blanket. You even sat and waited in front of the washing machine while Nanny washed it." "Well, I'm much too big for it now," said Kermit, and he started to pull the blanket onto the pile of old toys and clothes. But a strange thing happened. Kermit found he didn't want to let go the wait, he didn't want to let go the wait, Kermit found he didn't want to let the blanket go. Suddenly, the idea of giving it up frightened him. "I might really need this blanket someday," thought Kermit. "Lots of things could happen. Why, I might make a mistake and fall into a lake. Then I'll be in big trouble if I didn't have my blanket." Kermit thought some more. "I might get into the worst kind of muddle trying to cross a deep puddle. I'd probably be stuck forever if I didn't have my blanket." Kermit had almost convinced himself that he should never give up his old blanket when the tiniest voice in his head whispered, "Now wait a minute, Kermit. If you make a mistake and fall into a lake, you won't be in big trouble. You know how to swim. As a matter of fact, you're a really good swimmer." Then the tiny voice went on, "You won't get into the worst kind of muddle trying to cross a deep puddle. You can jump. As a matter of fact, you are a great jumper." Kermit thought this over for a moment, and then he answered the tiny voice, "You're right. Lakes and puddles are not my problem. But just imagine all the other things that might go wrong. I might be caught in a rain. Well, I might be caught in a rainforest without an umbrella. I might need some protection from the hot desert sun. I might need to escape from a tall, scary tower. I might get lost and want to signal someone." The tiny voice inside Kermit's head grew a little louder. First it sighed, and then it spoke again. "Now wait a minute, Kermit. You know how to plan ahead. As a matter of fact, you are a good planner. On a trip through the rainforest, you'll take your umbrella. You'll pack what you need for whatever you roam. You think of a way to escape a tower. And if you were lost, you would try phoning home." Kermit noticed his head slowly and said to the voice, I think you're right. I might have learned how to be a good planner, but what about all the things I can't plan? What about monsters? Bedtime monsters that prowl in the night, weird-shaped monsters that growl in the park, and dozens of others that howl, hiss, and bark. I might have to hide from them under my blanket. The voice inside Kermit's head grew louder still. Now wait a minute, Kermit. You know that the only monster you meet are the monster you make up. And most of the time you make them up for fun, right? Kermit had to admit that the voice was right. He didn't need the old blanket for any of the reasons he had thought. But one last question still nagged at him. What if I'm alone and lonely? Kermit whispered to the voice. When you're alone and lonely, certain blankets can come in handy. Before the voice had a chance to answer, Kermit looked up and around. He saw the other babies busy in the nursery. I know, Kermit said out loud. I don't have to worry. I always have my friends. Without another word, he put his blanket on top of the tall pile of old clothes and toys. Kermit, no, Father, Piggy, Skeeter, Scooter, Elmo, Gonzo, and Ralph all gasped at once. Don't give away your old blanket, pleaded Fozzie. I always hoped I could use it in my games when you didn't need it anymore. It would make a perfect curtain for my super suspended Starlight Comedy Theater. Then Piggy spoke up. I always thought it would be just right for a fortune teller console. Fantastic, dazzling, mysterious, gorgeous, and I always imagined it at a sail on a neat little boat that would ride the waves across the water, said Skeeter. I thought it would make a great magic carpet, announced Scooter. You know, not every blanket makes a great one. Some are just so-so. Flag, shouted Amble. Great flag parade. I always wanted to use it as my superhero. All-powerful cape, said Gonzo. With the right cape, Super Gonzo could leap over large licorice factories in a single bound. He could lift large ladies filled of steaming with a single hand he could. Muttered Ralph. I always thought the blanket would make a fine traveling bag. You can carry all sorts of important things inside. Kermit liked those ideas. You're right, he said to his friends. Even though I don't need my old blanket anymore, we could find a lot of different ways to use it. Just then the door to the nursery opened, and Nanny walked in. Are you ready for the picnic, kids? She asked. You have done a great job getting together your old things. Now let's pack them up. Fozzie, Kermit, Scooter, Skeeter put the old toys and clothes into a big bag. Ralph, Piggy, Elmo, and Gonzo helped Nanny fill the picnic basket. When everything was ready to go, Nanny looked at the babies inside. Oh dear, we don't have picnic baskets. We lost our old ones. I forgot to buy a new one. Don't worry, said the babies. Kermit was the last one out the door. Under his arm was tucked the new picnic basket. But of course, it really wasn't new. So that was Baby Kermit Old Blanket from 1988. So if you like, subscribe, share, and comment. Have a groovy day with another video coming out real soon.